Hey, Rick.
How are you, Wendy?
I'm good. And hey, YouTubers.
Hey, everybody.
We are going to make something today that is going to fill you up with joy.
Mm-hmm.
What could that be? What would fill you with joy today, Rick?
Pie.
Pie. We're going to fill this with pie. And not only is it filling it with pie, but it's kind of magical. Wouldn't you say?
It's really magical. I made it yesterday and was like, what? I
Yeah.
can't. This, wow. It's great. It's great.
And I can't say it's a family recipe or anything like that, even though I did get introduced to it from my mother, Elaine. Way back when we lived in Florida, she came home with this magic pie recipe, and we thought it was family wise for years, but now we realize it's not, and you'll see why in a few minutes. But
Yes.
nothing better than pie for the holiday. So if you're looking for something to bring as a hostess gift or something to share with your family, that's easy, fast, and delicious.
Yeah. I
We're
was
all
going to
about
say
that, right, Rick?
that's the most important. This thing is going to be delicious. Yeah, for
It's
sure.
delicious. So let's get rolling with the magic of impossibly easy coconut pie. I'm saying that is what this is. So here's what y'all are going to need. If you're making the pie along with us right now, go turn your oven on to 350 because you're going to heat it up to that. So that's where we're going with the oven. And then all you're going to need are these 7 ingredients and your blender. That's
Okay.
it. 7 ingredients and a blender. No, 7 ingredients are 3 eggs, the basics, right? 3 eggs,
Got it.
1 3/4 cup of milk. You're going to need some butter, a quarter cup of butter, and you're going to want to melt it. So take a half a stick of butter and melt it down. You're going to need some vanilla extract, coconut, sugar, 3/4 cup, and the magic ingredient. And look, we get nothing from this company, but the magic ingredient, show your box, Bisquick. Now, look at the difference in these boxes.
I was just going to say, wait, yours says gluten free.
And yours says original. It
Yep.
goes both ways, this pie. So you'll never know it's gluten free, right, Rick?
No, you won't.
Because the first time I made it at Rick's house, I made it with the gluten free so I could have, and you would never ever know. So it's really, you can just make it gluten free. And people that have intolerations to gluten would enjoy it. If they're celiac, you still may want to talk to about the ingredients you're using, but most people that are just gluten intolerant, this is perfect. So first things first, always in the baking, right? I think these are the first two things any recipe says. Heat the oven and grease your pan.
That's right.
So why is that, Rick? Do you think that that's it first?
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, I've done it a million times. I get so excited about what I'm baking or making or whatever, and then I go, okay, I'm ready. Cold oven, and then I
Right.
go, and then I go, guess what? That's another, 20 minutes or whatever till it's ready. So, yeah,
So I
better,
just took a
better.
stick of butter. I don't know. How do you grease? I take the stick and I wrap it around my pan.
For something like this, I love, and I don't get, we're not getting any money from these folks either, but I love using the Baker's Joy in the can. It never fails. I mean, never fails. I'm
Oh,
using,
nice.
yeah,
Baker's Joy. I love that.
yeah.
All right. So you can put your pan to the side just for a minute. And look, this is going to be fast. It's going to be so fast. Don't miss it. Don't miss anything. Here we go. Easy
So,
peasy. So here we
so
go.
Wendy, one question before we start. So all of this, I'm just putting it all in the blender. Like I'm
All
not,
in the blender.
I'm not measuring. I mean, once I measure, obviously, but then I just
Oh, yeah.
throw
You
it.
got to measure.
Yeah.
Well, now my blender does have measurements, but that's a whole other thing. And I was watching somebody bake. I watched this weekend, the New York Times did a cookie baking extravaganza. And one of the women there talked about how for fancy baking, this is magic baking, different than fancy baking, that they actually weigh their ingredients for more consistent results instead of measuring.
Wow.
Especially when it comes to the flour. And I thought, that makes sense because it's never quite the same when you put it in a cup. So I could see why she would say that. All right, so let's mix them all together. Start with your eggs, just crack them right into the blender. Did I mention that you just make this in the blender?
Hey, Wendy, do I have to mix anything or I just throw this all in the blender?
Just put it all in the blender, Rick.
All right, I can handle that.
That's what makes it so magical. 1 3/4 cup of milk. Now, I ran out and got some milk. I think you could use a non-dairy. If you look for the recipe on the internet, then you'll see that there are a few varieties that you can definitely use non-dairy. So you could find those as well. So you're going to add your milk and then you're going to add your butter.
And you said, I'm sorry, 1 3/4 cup milk?
1 3/4 milk, 1/4 cup of butter,
And
1.5 teaspoons of vanilla.
So this is making like a custard, right? I mean, that's
it's magical. It makes the custard and the crust all in one. That's what makes it so magical. So it totally makes it magical.
Wow.
3/4 cups of sugar. Now, with sugar, you could always go a little less because so it depends on how sweet you like something. This isn't necessarily a very sweet pie. But I should take that back. It is pretty sweet. It's not like you can go a little less or a little more in the sugar. I thought I'd go a little less.
When you made it the first time you made it, I was actually surprised at how it was, to me, much more like custardy than sweet. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, it's going to be good, of course.
All right, so the sugar's in there. And then last but not least is 1/2 cup of your Bisquick. Well, actually, it's not the last.
All right, I'm behind you a little bit. So can you remind me of the vanilla again? You said a teaspoon?
Yes, I'm sorry. I may be going too fast, so thank you. We are at, so far you've put in 3 eggs, 1 3/4 cup milk, 1/4 cup of butter, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla.
1.5, okay, cool.
I put in 3/4 cup of sugar. And now I am putting in 1/2 cup of the gluten-free Bisquick.
Okay. And
what a gift for us gluten.
Yeah, like we said, I'm using the regular Bisquick in my recipe, but I don't think, well, we know it doesn't really make a difference. It tastes delicious.
No, it really doesn't. That's what I love. And then the piece de resistance, the coconut. Now, this recipe calls for flaked or shredded coconut. I'm using a sweetened coconut. Some people prefer a unsweetened coconut. I like a little sweet in the coconut.
See, that's funny because I didn't even, when I pulled this off the grocery store, off the shelf, I got unsweetened.
Oh, I wish I had unsweetened.
And how much of this again? 1/2 cup?
A cup.
Cup.
And that goes in the blender as well. So there you have it. 7 ingredients into the blender. And now we're going to blend. So I'm going to do that very quickly, but I should probably have the top to my blender.
That would be a huge mess, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that is not something you want to deal with. So I've got my top on and I'm just going to mute for uno momente. We'll be right back. Hold, please. magic pie. Next, you take the top off and you simply, whoopsie.
Is yours pretty liquidy?
Mine's liquidy. How about yours?
Yes.
Liquidy, little bubbles in there, nicely blended. And then you just pour it into the pie pan.
Oh, I feel like is it gonna spill over? Oh my God. Nope.
Some of you may feel that way. Now, here's something else different that you're going to notice about the way Rick and I do this. Mine is in a glass pie pan. Rick is in a metal pie pan. What have we learned? We've learned, haven't we, Rick?
We have learned. And
what have we learned?
Well, I will say kind of the hard way. But the good thing is I had more pie than what I thought I was going to have. One of them was a little more done than the other one. With a metal pie pan, 15 minutes less time than a glass one is what I found was perfect.
Yes. So with the glass, it's 45 to 50 minutes. And it's the usual, right? You want golden brown on top and knife inserted, comes out clean, the usual, right? And then that's what happens. So let's put it in. Gonna put it in.
Okay. Be careful not to, it is tippy top full, that's for sure.
I think your pie plate is a little smaller than mine. Ooh, look. It's like a squat when you put it in the oven.
Yeah.
Perfect. So with the magic of timing, I want you to imagine yourself now. Oh, I got to set the timer. That's the other thing you want to do. You put your pie in the oven or anything in the oven and set your timer.
Yes.
I've done that as well. Forgot to set the timer. 45 minutes. Magic of 45 minutes. We fast forward and wait, there's something missing.
There's a piece missing. Yes. I made it yesterday and I couldn't resist, and neither could my husband, Michael. So whatever.
Well, can you resist now?
No, I'm cutting a piece right now.
Oh, I'm so envious. You all look at now. Show them how it looks. Yeah, let's see how it looks. Oh man.
I'm going to show them
the magic of this. Remember, these were all 7 ingredients in the blender. There's the crust and the creaminess and then a little bit of crunch on top. Wow, that looks good, Rick.
Well, let me just make sure, because I know it was good yesterday, but hold on.
Quality control.
I want some of the top. It's really like 3 distinct layers. You have the crust, you have the custard, and then you have that coconut, like very light, kind of delicious. I love the texture of it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, I'm having another one.
Have another one, why don't you?
Wait, let me give you, I wish I could, from Florida. Ready?
Yum, 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 yum.
So good.
Oh yeah, I guess if I turn this way, you can get it in my mouth. So here's the thing about pie that I love. Not only do I love eating it, but I love gifting it. And for the holidays, you can definitely gift a pie. So when you gift a pie, it shows up in your, you end up with an empty pie plate. And this is what happened at my dad's house when we were there last week. Their friends brought over a pie. They left some of it. She made an apple pie. It was incredibly delicious. She left the pie pan there. And when we returned the pie, we returned it with this coconut cream pie in it. So if you have leftover pie shells, this is the easy peasy, you have the ingredients in your house, wonderful way to return a pie dish. And nothing says I love you better than a homemade pie.
And you know what? I loved when you told me the story about returning a pie dish. I honestly, I had never heard that, where you return the pie dish with a pie in it.
Yeah.
I just thought that was such a cool thing, especially for the holidays. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime, but especially for the holidays. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great idea.
So remember that the next time someone brings you a pie, come back to this recipe, easy peasy, magic coconut, impossibly easy coconut pie. And you'll make someone very happy.
Yes. And I can attest 150%. Wow. Delicious.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for showing me and
You're
everyone.
welcome.
Yeah.
I hope you all enjoy it, and catch us again next time. Come back weekly or every other week. We'll get into a groove here and come make something different with us next time.
Great. See you, Wendy.
Bye, Rick. Bye, everybody.